Yo, what is absolutely Gucci, y'all? Welcome back to another video. As you can tell from the title, I'm going to be showing you guys how to ride a motorcycle. 3 easy steps. Now, some things to keep in mind, right? If you know how to drive a car, this is going to be the same steps as if like you're learning how to drive a car. Now, if you know how to ride a bicycle, not a motorcycle, a bicycle, right? You know, pedal bicycle, then riding a motorcycle will be pretty much as easy as riding a bicycle. Also, if you're good with video games as well, like if you have good hand to eye coordination, if you don't have any problems like using both your hands and both your feet at the same time simultaneously, then you will have an easy day learning how to ride a motorcycle. So right, first step is getting a motorcycle. This is probably going to be one of the hardest steps out of the 3 steps. Getting a motorcycle, right? There's so many different types of motorcycles out there that, well, you can really start on any. There are people that start from like 1000cc motorcycles to 125cc motorcycles, or even scooters. Now with the scooter thing, I'm not going to get into that because scooters, especially the automatic ones, those aren't really considered motorcycles. By definition, a motorcycle is anything with 2 wheels, has a clutch, etc. So of course, I'm only going to be talking about clutch motorcycles. You can also start on a dirt bike as well. And learning how to ride a dirt bike is the same as learning how to ride a motorcycle, except obviously the motorcycle, or some motorcycles, depending on the engine, right? The engine cc and displacement, the weight will vary. If you're first learning, like first time ever sitting on a bike, on a motorcycle, whatever, then it'll be better to learn on something that's not heavy. Because in case of a accident, you know, you don't hurt your leg when you drop the bike on your leg or whatever. Also, part of the first step is finding an empty parking lot. I highly suggest going to like a shopping center, like abandoned shopping center or something like that, or even a high school, or not a high school, sorry, or even a school. Like as you can see, there's a car over there learning how to drive. So once you have your bike and once you have your space to practice, second step is the controls. Learn your bike's controls. Every bike, motorcycle, dirt bike, things of that nature, the clutch is always going to be on the left side of the handlebar. And then of course the throttle is going to be on the right side. And the front brake is going to be on the right side as well. And then your kill switch is always going to be a big bright red button. And of course some of them look different, like mine's is the standard, and then there's going to be some that are like more high-tech and look fancier and whatnot. And then of course, you know, standard mirrors. And your foot brake is going to be on the right side of the bike, of course. That's pretty standard. And then your high beams are always going to be on the left side as well. Your turn signals, left side handlebar as well. And then your clutch lever or your gear lever, it's going to be on the left side as well. So the 3 things you're only going to be focusing on when you're first starting to ride a motorcycle is the clutch and the throttle and the front brake or your rear brake. So once you get over step 2, you learn all the controls and whatnot, you can go ahead and start learning the practical, which is step 3. The practical, actually learning how to ride your motorcycle. When I started learning how to ride a motorcycle, I used all my fingers, right? All 4 of my fingers to use the clutch. Now, of course, over time, I just started using 2, and then I started using just my middle finger, because it's my longest finger out of my hand, to engage the clutch and disengage it. But since you're starting out, I highly suggest you start off with using your whole hand. So let's go ahead and turn on the bike. This is up for debate, but I always turn on my bike in neutral. You can turn it on in first gear. So every bike, right? Let me put it into first gear. So I'm in gear. If I let go of the clutch instantly, my bike is just going to go and then it's going to stall. So I'm going to hold on, right? And I'm going to be using the 4-finger method. Okay? So every bike has a friction zone. That friction zone, let me show you guys. I'm going to describe it like in 3 ways. My top hand is the high limit for the friction zone. My left hand or my bottom hand is going to be the low friction zone. where the clutch starts to engage, or when the motorcycle starts to move. And of course, anything in between there is your friction zone. You go higher than your friction zone, than your higher limit, then that's when you're going to stall. And if you go lower, then you're not going to move at all. You're not going to engage the clutch. So that's pretty much how I can explain friction zone on a motorcycle or dirt bike. So first things first, you are not going to give any throttle at all. This whole lesson right here, this for step 3, is going to be finding your friction zone. So your friction zone is not going to be immediately unless you have it modified to engage immediately. So what you're going to do is slowly let out the clutch, and you're going to feel the bike move forward. Once you feel it move forward slightly, just pull it back in, okay? Because right now you just want to focus on where your friction zone is. Do that like 10 times. Find your friction zone, right? And then just pull in the clutch, okay? And the bike will stop moving once you pull in the clutch. So do that 10 times. Find your friction zone, move forward, and then stop. Pull in your clutch, and then just stop, okay? Create that muscle memory in you to know where your friction zone is at. Because then, after you find your friction zone, then you can give it a little bit gas so that you can keep moving forward. Now, what happens if you don't give it gas? So I'm not giving it any gas right now, and then my bike is going. This is how it is for a lot of bikes. You do not need to give it gas to fully let out the clutch. You can slowly let out the clutch until you reach like 5 miles per hour, and then you can fully let out the clutch. So again, on a lot of bikes, you do not need to give it throttle for you to fully engage the clutch. You can let out the clutch slowly, reach up to, so I'm gonna look at my speedometer, 5 miles per hour, 6 miles per hour, 7, and then just fully let go of the clutch, and that's it. I did not give it gas at all, okay? You can practice that again. Practice that 10 times or more until you get it right before you give it throttle. Because throttle is only for you to go faster. Right now we are just practicing how to ride the motorcycle, how to get off of a stop. Once you feel comfortable getting out of a stop without using your throttle, then go ahead and use your throttle afterwards. So pretty much continue practicing that. That is going to be your third and final step of practicing on how to ride a motorcycle. Of course, you're going to want to continue riding along the parking lot for several days if you need, or even several weeks, until you feel fully ready to be out on the street. Because once you get out on the street, you do not want to be stalling. But yeah, guys, I hope that helped out. That's how I pretty much learned how to ride a motorcycle in 3 easy steps. If you are having trouble with this, just keep on practicing. Like, practice is everything. Practice makes perfect. And of course, seat time is everything as well. If you just practice like once a week, you're not going to get as fast as someone that practices every day, right? If you guys got any questions, just drop it in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And see you guys in a bit. Peace out.